Given that Red Dead Redemption, released in 2010, is widely considered to be one of the greatest video games of all time, it is within reason to think that its follow-up will at least be one of the best titles of the year. There is so much to say about this game, so without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. The game ground everything you should know about Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar Games consists of multiple studios around the world. The original Red Dead Redemption, along with its predecessor, Red Dead Revolver, were both made by one of them, that is Rockstar San Diego. However, with Red Dead Redemption 2, whose development started right after the launch of the first Redemption in 2010, the duties are shared between all of Rockstar Studios, making it even more ambitious than the original Redemption. To be fair though, this isn't the first time several Rockstar development houses are working on a project together, as this was also the case with Max Payne 3 as well as Grand Theft Auto 5. And with regard to GTA 5, their latest major release, it initially came out in 2013 for PS3 and Xbox 360, making Red Dead Redemption 2 the first Rockstar Games title developed from the ground up for PS4 and Xbox One. These two consoles are the only platforms currently announced for the game. Nonetheless, it will most likely come to PC as well. Virtually all of Rockstar's titles in recent memory do have a PC version, with Red Dead Redemption being a rare exception. While it was a huge success, critically and commercially, it was never ported to PC because its code was a mess. What's more, it was running on an old GTA 4 era version of the Rage engine, which wasn't really optimized for PC, as can be seen on the PC port of GTA 4, which is generally considered to be pretty awful. Although, as we saw with Max Payne 3 or GTA 5, the newer versions of Rage work very well on PC. And Rockstar is surely paying attention not to make the Red Dead Redemption 2 code such a mess. Thus, I think it's safe to say that this time the game will have a PC version, which will presumably come out a few months after the console debut, since this was the case with the majority of Rockstar's titles in recent memory, including GTA 4, GTA 5, and LA Noire. In April 2016, 6 months before the game was even announced, a leaked Red Dead Redemption 2 map was posted on NeoGAF. Leaks like these are usually fake, especially when it comes to games by Rockstar. However, as more and more locations were being confirmed with each new trailer, for instance Valentine, Cornwall, or Blackwater, Red Dead Redemption's biggest and richest town, this leaked map has proven to be real. It's over 2 years old, so it's probably not representative of the final map, but the basic geography has in all likelihood remained the same. While we will return to several places from the last game, Red Dead Redemption 2 will push into the northeast away from the previous title's setting. Compared to the world of the first Redemption, the map seems to be approximately 50% bigger, but that is still only about 1/3 of the size of GTA 5's map. Regardless, it will feel very large, considering you'll have no sports cars or jets to explore it. And whereas the Red Dead Redemption 2 world won't be as massive, it will be deep, detailed, and diverse.
That's what he said!
There'll be towns, deserts, swamps, lakes, and even snowy areas. Rockstar is also aiming to make the world feel more alive and more independent of you compared to GTA 5. In the latest Grand Theft Auto, the 3 playable characters had their own daily routines. When switching between Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, you often found them in a situation unique to their personality, which made them feel more real. In Red Dead Redemption 2 though, everyone has a routine like this. Not only characters from the story, but also non-playable characters. Sheriffs, shopkeepers, bartenders, etc. all have their own daily routine. Another aspect that will make the world feel alive is the fact that it's constantly evolving. Houses and railroads are being built, and they will actually get finished during your playthrough, in contrast to GTA 5, where the Mile High Club has been under construction ever since we first saw it in the reveal trailer. Still, something that was present in the world of Los Santos is wildlife. As you'd expect, the focus on animals will be more extensive in the next Red Dead. There'll be horses, bears, deer, boars, alligators, rabbits, frogs, ducks, birds, bats, and more, including little bugs and flies. In addition to the wildlife being diverse, it will also be smarter, as different species will be able to interact between each other in various ways. And what you might have noticed by now is that all this looks rather well. As it was said, this is the first game by Rockstar made from scratch for the current generation. According to Rockstar, all trailers have been captured on PS4, and if true, that is impressive. They showcase character models miles better than in previous Rockstar titles, amazing draw distances, insanely detailed weapons, a nice banana, and some beautifully lighted scenes. On the other hand, the anti-aliasing on hair could be a lot better, not to mention the quality of some ground textures. These are just minor shortcomings after all, and you'll forget all about them once you spot this gorgeous night sky. In addition to being magnificent at night, the sky will also feature dynamic clouds like in Horizon Zero Dawn. Furthermore, snow will actually cover trees and clothes instead of simply coloring them white, which is the case in most games. Not less noteworthy are the grass animations, this dock covered in dirt and mud, and the fact that footprints of your horse can make puddles if it rains. And speaking of horses, the mocapped horses of the first Redemption were already quite realistic. With Red Dead Redemption 2 though, Rockstar is taking it even further, as the game's most important animals will now have saliva, detailed muscles, and even animated testicles. Moreover, judging by the LinkedIn profile of a former Rockstar employee, the second Redemption will be Rockstar's first game to use photogrammetry, a process of making 3D models and photorealistic textures using photos of real-world objects. You may have seen this technique in use in Battlefront or Battlefield franchises. Despite the name, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel taking place in 1899, 12 years before the events of Red Dead Redemption. Its story will revolve around the Van der Linde gang, the members of which John Marston was forced to hunt down in the previous game in order to save his family and redeem himself of his crimes. In Red Dead Redemption 2, Marston is 26, and he's still an active member of the gang. Although John was the main character in the first Redemption, the protagonist and the only playable character of the new Red Dead is Arthur Morgan. Morgan is likewise an affiliate of the gang, and he's one of the few people Dutch Van der Linde, the gang's leader, actually trusts. While John Marston was sort of a noble criminal, a gentleman, and an honest man, Arthur Morgan seems to be the counter of that, a ruthless outlaw and kind of a jerk.
Maybe when your mother's finished mourning your father, I'll keep her in black, on your behalf.
No matter if you played the previous game or not, you should be able to enjoy the story of Red Dead Redemption 2, as it will be a standalone tale. Being familiar with the original Redemption though will improve your experience, because besides Marston, we'll meet other characters from the last Red Dead as well. We've already mentioned Dutch, the leader of the gang. Taking money from the rich and giving it to the poor, he saw himself as a Robin Hood kind of figure. He opposed technology and any kind of government control. Dutch was actually a very idealistic man, that is until he realized the Old West way of life was basically dead and the war against modernization could not be won. Following this, Dutch descended into madness and the once visionary rogue became a delusional, frantic killer. This transformation will likely be a major theme of Red Dead Redemption 2's narrative. As Dutch gets more and more insane, Arthur will have to choose between his own ideals and loyalty to the gang that raised him. Another significant theme of the game's story will be the thing that had made Dutch go mad in the first place. The fact that the Wild West era was nearing its end.
This whole thing is pretty much done. We're more ghosts than people.
Besides Dutch, Bill Williamson returns as well, and he will be one of your main allies. Like Arthur Morgan, he's also a ruthless bandit. However, while Morgan considers his gang associates to be his family, Williamson doesn't really have any sense of loyalty to others. Moreover, Javier Escuella, another member of the gang, will be making a comeback too. The returning characters also include Edgar Ross, the director of the Bureau of Investigation,
Roy,
and Uncle, who was a lazy drunk in the last game and will probably be a lazy drunk in the prequel. So Marston, Dutch, Bill Williamson, Javier Escuella, Edgar Ross, and Uncle will all be featured in the story. Regardless, we will of course meet many new characters, including Micah Bell, member of the gang and one of Dutch's favorite killers, Hosea Matthews, Dutch's old friend, Pearson, the camp cook, this girl named Sadie Adler, who will seemingly play an important role in the game, among many others. We've mentioned two motives of Red Dead Redemption 2's narrative: the end of the Wild West and Dutchie's descent into madness. Another key theme of the title will, like in GTA 5, be heists. In fact, the game will begin with a failed robbery in Blackwater, after which the best federal agents and the most experienced bounty hunters of the nation are all after the Van der Linde gang. And that is what the story of Red Dead Redemption 2 will be about. Considering how good the gameplay of the original Red Dead Redemption was, it comes as no surprise that many of that game's mechanics will be carried over. Perhaps the signature one, Deadeye targeting, returns, but you'll need to unlock it first. In the last title, one of the ways you could refill the Deadeye meter was by creating tonic from plants you had gathered. Flora collecting for crafting is another mechanic that will be back, and same goes for the honor system. The system will now be much more advanced though, as your honor level will affect basically everything in the game, from the way NPCs treat you to even cutscenes and story missions. Actually, I shouldn't have said story missions, because with the prequel, Rockstar attempts to blur the lines between main missions and side quests and make both equally relevant. Other elements from the first Redemption that will make an appearance include the weapon wheel, a circular hut, random events, and a wanted level plus a bounty on your head when you commit a crime. Nevertheless, its predecessor isn't the only game the prequel will take inspiration from. The second Red Dead Redemption will feature slow motion kill cams and seamless transitions between gameplay and cutscenes, both of which were present in Rockstar's Max Payne 3. Also, like in the latest Max Payne, you'll be able to dual wield two different weapons, which Morgan does in this scene, and notice how he closes one eye as he shoots. In addition to dual wielding weapons, you'll also be capable of upgrading them. Furthermore, the influence of Grand Theft Auto 5 is obvious here. In GTA 5, you could already interact with pedestrians.
How are you doing?
Do I know you? I don't think so.
But in Red Dead Redemption 2, this will be much more advanced. You'll be offered not one, but several different interactions from which you'll choose using the action buttons. You may remember that the headline feature of the current-gen release of GTA 5 was the first-person mode, and that will be carried over as well. What's more, when planning heists, you'll need to make multiple decisions, including the choice between a quiet and a loud approach, just like in the world of Los Santos. The planning of heists will take place in the camp. The camp will play a prominent role in the game, and it will move across the map as you progress in the story. It's where you'll find your associates and where you'll be able to build relationships with them by completing optional tasks they give you or by listening to their stories. When you go hunting, you can decide if you want to bring the meat to the camp and share it or keep it for yourself. And with regard to hunting, that will also play a crucial role in Red Dead Redemption 2. And while you could go hunting in the original Redemption, you couldn't go fishing, but that will change in the prequel. So there will be fishing, and you'll be able to hunt the majority of animals in the game. In fact, you'll have the option to use a new weapon to do so: the bow, which was present in 24's Red Dead Revolver, but not in 2010's Redemption. It will be ideal for hunting, as a matter of fact, since prey shot with the bow will be more valuable compared to when shot with a gun. In order for the butchers to pay you the most though, you will not only have to use the bow, but the meat will have to be fresh, because rotting exists in the game universe. However, you won't need to rush to the butchers every time you kill a rabbit, as smaller kills can be conserved and kept in your satchel. Rotting will not only be used to defy the price of the meat, but it will be a more complex mechanic. For instance, you'll be able to use the rotting smell as bait for predators, like alligators. What will come in handy when hunting fast animals is your horse, and compared to the first Redemption, the impact of horses on the gameplay has been extended in the prequel. Rockstar wants the player to form a bond to the horse. It will no longer be just a matter of transportation. By the way, this is very similar to what Sony Bend is going for with motorcycles in Days Gone. You will be able to feed, calm, and groom the horse, and when it gets hurt, you'll need to use specific medicine or else it will die, which means you'll have to get a new one and all of your upgrades will be lost. Yes, horses will now have stats that can be improved over time. Better stats will for example help you escape enemies, or they can extend the range in which the horse can hear your whistle. The whistling can now also be used for attracting or distracting other animals or even people. When it comes to dead people, you'll use your horse for carrying bodies, as well as animals you caught and weapons, since the amount of guns Morgan can carry with him is limited. What is not limited are the possibilities in the world of the new Red Dead. It will be packed with minigames and activities such as poker or theatrical performances. In addition, you can go inside people's houses and steal jewelry or just rob people on the street. There will possibly also be a Fight Club minigame, and speaking of that, hand combat looks to be dramatically enhanced compared to the simple melee mechanics of the first game. Another thing that will be revamped is character customization. You'll now be able to change hairstyles, beards and mustaches, but unlike in GTA, you will need to wait for the hair to grow. Additionally, you'll be able to choose between various outfits and hats as well, and you can actually lose your hat in a shootout. Then you either need to find it or it's gone for good. In addition to how a game looks and plays, it's also important how it sounds. Red Dead Redemption's atmospheric and often ambient soundtrack was one of the things that made it a masterpiece. The OST was adaptive and used vertical remixing, which means that as the gameplay got more intense, more layers of music started playing. Vertical remixing will return in Red Dead Redemption 2, but not much else is known about the prequel score, even though there have been rumors suggesting that Gustavo Santaolalla, composer for The Last of Us, is working on the soundtrack. And that is about everything you should know about Red Dead Redemption 2's single player. However, the game will have multiplayer too. Rockstar promises to bring a brand new online experience. It is rumored to be fairly similar to GTA Online, with NPCs providing you with missions. Additionally, tents are said to be the equivalent of GTA's apartments, and Battle Royale should be one of the game modes. Besides this, and the fact that there will be multiplayer content exclusive to PS4, that's basically all that is known about the online component at the time of making this video. Red Dead Redemption 2 will retail for the standard $59, but there will be a special edition and an ultimate edition which will sell for $79 and $99 respectively. There will also be an official guide and a $99 collector's box, but watch out as that does not include the game itself. After 8 years of development and 2 delays, the title is now set to come to PS4 and Xbox One on October 26, 2018, and the PC version is probably coming later on. When God of War was released in April, I was convinced it was going to be Game of the Year, but thinking about it again, I'm not so sure at all. This has been Gameground. See you around.